sitting around a table, some of our greatest, most educated men, got on suits and ties, and they're trying to discuss on what's going to happen to black people for the 21st century. And basically, it was the same question, the same consensus that's been going on since the 1920s. Economic empowerment, economic empowerment. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. No, since Reconstruction we've been talking this shit, but you understand, this is a pipe dream, in a sense, but they can't break free from, it's almost like their minds is put in a box. And these are the so-called, the most brilliant people we have, which means they are brilliant and they have passed the standardized diagnostic testing as of what the government says that you need to be standard with to get a job or succeed in the society. You see, so what the deal is this. Exactly. It's all set up that way. But the key, so when we say more brilliant minds, we're talking about brilliant based on a diagnostic aptitude of some shit that's defunct. You understand what I'm saying? An incompetent material, it has nothing to do with anything, so they're stuck in a box. And all of them have the same one, and it's almost like every black person that you see on TV, which is all by system, they talk the same thing. It's like a broken record. That's because their minds are stuck in a box in another dimension in the 19th century. You understand what I'm saying? In the 19th century. So the concept on what we're talking about here, we're talking about a new way of thinking, or the making of the new science. So, getting back to what I'm talking about here, in the first part of Carl Pilgrim's book, the introduction, the first page, he starts off with what? In the movie Star Wars. Now wait a minute, do you understand what this is? This is quantum physics. This is what the white boy called new science, which is the most advanced shit that he has. Even the stuff that's there, this is the most advanced stuff we're even going to give it to some people in the educated realm if they catch on to what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? So now this is Carl Pribble and Michael Talbot. These are people as physicists, chaos physicists, and whatever they call it. In the first page, what is in this education? Because this is a very book. It says science and physics. You get this from the science and physics section. So we're not talking metaphysics now, because, you know, we're saying even when they're talking about being spooked out, that they're saying that spooky shit you're talking. Here's the man's science and physics book. What the hell is he? His first introduction is dealing with Star Wars. That ought to let you know something. In this, so this goes beyond. This goes so the first thing is some Negro that came in with a damn suit and tie that think he knows shit would come in and say that Negro there is talking, bumping his gums, and then we say, well, what do you propose? And he'll say education, and then when we go into actual the highest stages of education, and it says the same shit. In the movie Star Wars, the Luke Skywalker's adventure begins with a beam of light that shoots out of the root of the robot R2-D2 that projects a miniature three-dimensional image of Prince Alicia. Luke watches the spellbound ghostly scripture and lights and begs someone named Obi-Wan Kenobi to come for her assistance. So this queen is begging for someone to do this, to come for her assistance, and anybody saw the actual movie. But it's dealing with this particular hologram images, and he's dealing with Star Wars and all. And I just put this in here to give you even a greater emphasis on why did they release this at this particular time. Now, the other movie was 20 years ago. They were saying that Star Wars was to movies what Star Wars is to movies what the VCR would be to TV. It would be a whole new advanced state. That means everything that you get, the special effects that you have today, started with Star Wars 20 years ago in 1977. You understand the key to that? In 1977, coming off of, they had the shit way before then, but it's coming off of the bicentennial year when the cracker went into a whole nother dimension on a nigga ass. You know, he had his bicentennial. Remember 1976. And after that, boom, you had the doggone VCR come out. You had the synthesizers even got upgraded. Cellular phones, flat TVs, and all this shit came out. You see? And then in the 1950s, he had a wave of stuff from 1947 on up. He had the first modern wave, or the second phase of the modern wave. And he keeps having these particular phases of the modern wave. And from that on up, you have what you have now. And all. And so basically, this Star Wars, that was very key to the reason when this stuff all came out. Very key that they're releasing this particular time. You need to go see all 3 movies. Very key that you see all 3 movies, because the 3 movies are the Osirian drama. What's that?
Yeah, dealing with the Star Trek thing, going back into the original, again, if you deal with the Star Trek thing, they showed on Strange Universe that they had the things that they're talking to.
Right.
They mentioned that that is the cell phones that they're using today.
Oh. And even Gene Rodman knew to have a black woman up in there, because he understood the space thing was ours, and he did that. They say he was a pioneer for just having a black woman in a space program in, 1968? You see? Then, okay, they had all white in the first one, but no more than the second show, they knew to put in Star Wars, they knew to put Billy D. Williams in, who at that time was the Denzel Washington of what we have today. You see? So they knew to put Billy D. Williams, which would be the top sex symbol, which would be the Heru symbol, one that is most admired both mentally and physically. You see what I'm saying? So they just didn't put they didn't put no Ben Vereen up in that motherfucker. You see? They put the top man of Hollywood at that time. It would be equivalent of what? Denzel Washington now. They put him in Empire Strikes Back. Very key. You see, it's very key that they did that at the particular time, because they knew the whole shit was black.
Just got the Entertainment of the Year Award too. Denzel, and she mentioned it.
Yeah, that's key. And see, now this is the deal. With the Star Wars, we understood that even when what's his name, the guy Joseph Campbell wrote all these books about myths. He's a racist, but he wrote all these books about myths. He even went, when he was talking about mythology, he even went to George Lucas's house to deal with the Star Wars thing, because the Star Wars thing is nothing, it's the same Osirian story told in different things. It's the updated version of Excalibur. The Excalibur, which was the Arthurian mystery, is the same story as the Lion King is the same story, Clash of the Titans is the same story, and the story always starts with a boy's father being killed, or a boy growing up outside in the country and then going to the actual dwelling place of the civilization and starting this actual adventure. And so this is key that you actually see the movie, and the reason why they would release this thing at this particular time. First of all, the key to the movie is the Force. May the Force be with you. And the Force is nothing but what? Melanin. That's the key. The Force be with you is nothing but melanin. That's the main key. The Jedi. Jet black eye, the eye of Heru. Very key. You see, the Jedi. Yoda is the God Best. Now, if you go see the movie Empire Strikes Back, they say what? We want to go, take you to the Jedi Master to train you. And they took them, let me plug, I think you got it plugged in. Let's see, okay, good. They'll take you to the Jedi Master to train you. The first thing they did is he went to Yoda. Let's see here, First thing he did is he went to Yoda. And if you notice, Yoda, in the movie when he was training him, what happened? Luke Skywalker was carrying Yoda around on his back. Anybody saw the movie? He was carrying around on his back. This is the same picture of the God Horus, which is the original Christ, or one form of the original Christ, or the God Heru, and in the back you got the God Best, which is carrying it right around on his back, which means that the teacher is in the medulla oblongata, or what you would call the deepest region of the subconscious. You see. And Yoda, which is the God Best, which is also a form of Awas, which is also a form of the movie The Hobbit. Get the movie The Hobbit, I talked about the dwarf deity carrying around on his back. Very key that you understand this particular part, because they left off now. The other movie just came out, they're speeding it up now. I saw Empire Strikes Back yesterday, but next week, Return of the Jedi, which is, the original name was The Revenge of the Jedi. That was the first one in 1983. Was Revenge of the Jedi, but by the time it got to the movie, they said, well, it will be Return of the Jedi. But the original story was Revenge of the Jedi, which is the revenge of the eye of Heru. Heru avenges his father in the Osirian drama. You understand what I'm saying? Which is the drama of all things, which is the Lion King. It's the same story. It's the same story, but the key is they fight with the Force. And the Force is what is the Jedi warrior is based on the Force, and because the Force is the third out of Jedi, the Force is melanin. So Star Wars is Melanin Wars. Same thing as the movie Doom. Who controls spice? Melange. Controls the universe. Is Melanin Wars. That's what Devil Blair made the tape Melanin. Melanin Wars. Very key that you understand that. When we go, we're going to break this stuff down even some more. We've got a lot of stuff today. All new stuff, so got a lot of good stuff. But it's very key that you understand this at this particular time, based on the Melanin Wars. You might want to cut that back. Oh, yeah. Based on the Melanin Wars. Now, so which leads to this. Because I want to speak a little bit on this. In 1994, when Ty Seeley was really going strong with her channeling, in 1994, the 1st of 94, January of 1994, we got a channel that said, be on the lookout, because there's going to be a group of people, there's a group of witches from Emory that is spying on you all and doing rituals on you all. As a result, they came in and literally tore the black conscious community apart in Atlanta. Vexed the shit. Tore it apart in Atlanta. Whereas the ones that survived this thing basically was the ones that was outside of an actual group. But everybody else in an actual group got messed up behind some stuff because they had some particular person they was following, and they could get to that particular leader, and as a result, they went right straight down the tubes. That's real crucial. And all this stuff went down because of these people that's at Emory University that we basically got the names of, that we basically got the names of recently. And what's the name of that guy?
Courtney Brown.
Courtney Brown. That's the same one that wrote the book Remote Viewing too, right? Was that, anybody got the tape? How many people bought the book?
The book is about remote viewing, but the name of it is Cosmic Voice.
Cosmic Voice, Remote Viewing. So, scientific remote viewing. As a result, a lot of things went down. Now, this is something that happened. We had a group of people. We went to the Pinson Mounds. We went to the Pinson Mounds. That's in Tennessee. We went to the Empress thing, the Phoenix Mounds. Went to the Phoenix Mounds in Monroe, Louisiana, and we did a whole lot of spiritual things. Some people that didn't go to the mounds, we just had a nice spiritual group. We were more advanced than even New York at the actual time, because New York was still into the Afrocentric thing. You see what I'm saying, basically. And we were really kicking real hard here in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, it was powerful. We had the radio station. That's one thing we had over New York City, is New York City, they don't have what is called Georgia Free Radio. That means that they can't get on the radio and say what the hell they want to. You see, and say what the hell they want to. So in actuality, what happened is this. We had this powerful group, and in 1994, right after this Siki ceremony, something hit the group, and everybody started just breaking off. It's interesting how we had a group of conscious brothers and sisters, and one man rolls into town on one Saturday and says he's Allah. And a whole cadre of these Negroes follow this man right now, calling him Father. You see what I'm saying? Calling him Father.
I had a man on the radio, and the man made no sense at all.
No sense. Brother named Solomon. Saying, you know, Ohio means oh so high. Chicago means get in your car and go. Illinois means you'll get ill from the noise of the mothership. I mean, crazy shit. And yet these people following this man like this, and I'm telling you that that's some... I ain't got no... And I'm telling you that this particular person was sent here, because it's interesting, because the sister in Tennessee, she said, when I called about 2 weeks after he came, the sister from Tennessee named Tamakila, she said, Bobby, I'm telling you that somebody somebody came to Atlanta. I don't know who this fucker is. He came because she was all the way in Tennessee. She don't know nothing about it, never met him. But she's very in tune. She say, whoever this person came, this person was sent to bust up the group. And we didn't have a group just talking about just mess up this whole thing. And I'm telling you, from this, from that, you got a whole lot of things going on. So now the Moors is getting caught up in all this bullshit. Let me tell you the deal on this. What the deal is on this is this. They just showed a movie on TV called In the Line of Duty, and they show all these cops. It's on HBO. And this particular one was, and it's a different series of In the Line of Duty on what these cops go out and do. So this one was something like the Ruby Ridge thing or the Waco, Texas thing, where they went in and took down some compound of some people reading the Bible, some crackers reading the Bible and saying that this is the day of the Messiah or whatever, just like David Koresh. Anyway, the doctrines on what these people was going from, a sovereign nation, not paying taxes, everything that they was going by is the same stuff that we're caught up in the more science is actually caught up into at this particular time, thinking that the damn government is on their side and the government gonna recognize, if they just recognize that they goddamn Moors, that the damn government gonna leave them alone. That's a front shit. It's the same thing now. They gave, in 94, they put a phone in my goddamn house. You see. Now I got an $800 bill from some other shit before, but yet they're going to give me a new phone in my house and all, you see. And I can speak unlimited calls for free for 2 and 3 months until I stop talking on it, and they took the phone out. So what I'm trying to say is that's the particular psychic power that they're actually dealing with, and all. And so we actually had an actual warfare going on. And this stuff here is linked with the United States government on down, with this particular remote viewing thing here. Developed in World War II. Very key that you understand that. And we're up under this particular power. And so I'm saying this too. I think that they are ruling anyone that's under the Messiah power at this particular time. You know, these groups are saying they're the Messiah. Like, take for instance, your boys down here, Soul Vegetarian, Ben Armenian, them just got $40 million from the goddamn United States government. $40 million from the government. Now, come on now. Shit, I might have damn like about to get cut off this motherfucker. You see what I'm saying and shit? You know? I mean, they on my ass. And yet this nigga get $40 million from the United States government. You don't understand the key. I'm telling you that this whole thing is based on an entity and all. I'm telling you the truth. We might be the only motherfuckers here when we get through with this shit tonight. I'm telling you. I'm saying as far as what you really know, it just might be because I heard it last year. Even when I called Indiana, the brother say, look, ain't but a few of y'all down there still living. The rest of the motherfuckers been gone. Now I'm telling you, that's how crazy it is. And when we really wake up out of this thing, we might find out that shit, we were just dead, but we don't know what the hell is going on. And I mean, it's just that crazy. And we'll get into that later on because I got some other new information also, too, that I broke in. Some real key shit, which I should also say that this is a form of the clone thing also, too, that we bear witness with. Because that's like I told you so, and it's interesting because a sister I was at up on North Island going to see the movie Empire Strikes Back. And a sister came to, there was a place, the Mellow Mushroom is right there. And there was a hair salon right there. And the sister came out and said, she said, yeah, she said, I came to see you last year when you first started on them clones. And she said, I believe that motherfucker that crazy. She said, but now I'm bearing witness a hold to the quantum physics that I was talking about. The quantum physics. I think she has these, the ones I just showed you. Liber Null and the Psychonaut. That's called chaos magic. Chaos magic. Liber Null and the Psychonaut. Did you have any of the Liber Chaos, or you sold out of that one? Liber Null and and let me introduce you to what this thing is actually dealing with here.
No, I got the light in the house.
Yeah. But this one is probably the better one anyway. This one, Liber Null and the Psychonaut, Introduction into Chaos Magic, which is dealing with the making of the new science that I told you about. This is dealing with that particular energy. Now I want to read a review on this particular information, try to understand something. It says, throughout mysticism, there have never been any absolutes. There is no ultimate or no truth. The nature of solid reality has always been held as something in the manner of an illusion or a dream. Nobody can doubt that we live on the earth where it is impossible, but it is impossible to guarantee categorically the outcome of any intended action, and any sort of this makes a methodology of chaos. Now, what it's dealing with here is this. This is dealing with the new science of where you got to get your mind and start thinking. If it's rational, logical, and reasoning, it's all wrong. You got to throw that shit out. That's why. You got to throw that out. That's why, if you can get into a conversation with a motherfucker about the shit based on his life experience and based on his educational status, you ain't dealing with nothing. If it makes common sense and it makes good sense, you got to throw all that out. This is on a whole other plateau. This is the kind of concept we're talking about. If the shit makes common sense, it makes good rationale, and it makes good sense, it ain't real. That's the concept what we're dealing with here. Which leads us to this. There can be no doubt that self-consciously, it says that the church and the atmosphere provides much a connection of the organized chaos. Now, it says the magic, Peter Carroll himself even uses phrases of the church of chaos, rather like Ron L. Hubbard, who founded a church of Scientology. Now, if you notice, the church of Scientology is under a whole lot of attack right now. That's because, what is this shit? You don't know what the hell it is. But Tom Cruise is one top movie star. John Travolta is one now. He's become top movie star. Isaac Hayes, all this stuff, he's coming back. That's because they did him with quantum physics, which is L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard used to be in Aleister Crowley's OTO. And from that, he broke off and started the whole Dianetics thing. So they're studying this particular information, and so what's happening is the government now, Ann Archer, she's the one that's in it, the government now is trying to stop them. They've already started in Germany, but they also started over here. That's because they're dealing with some shit that they can apply the laws of chaos and just even work with them and help work for them, even in the physical. You understand what I'm saying? Just, it's all you're doing is manipulating the physical realm. You understand where I'm coming from? So now, we're talking about this making of a new science, the holographic universe, the chaos science that we're talking about here, and it's manipulating the physical, is what it's actually dealing with. You see, what it's actually dealing with here. So now, this is why, like I said, this is why there's a big attack now. It's going to get even a greater attack on the Church of Scientology. You see what I'm saying? Especially in Germany and stuff. They got a whole lot of things that's going on at this particular time. That's the actual Illuminati of the secret government actually attacking these particular people at this particular time. You see. Take, for instance, it's also the science of making you deal with the inner self also, too. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own souls. They will practice Indian yoga and all its exercises, it says, and observe and a strict, rigorous diet, and learn theosophical, and by the art of mechanically repeat the mystic text and literature whole word for word. But they cannot go within themselves or not have the slightest faith of anything using one could ever come out of its own soul. So what it means here is this here. Basically it means that you will do anything to face your own higher energy, because your lower self is trying to keep that back. So even now, even when it comes to the New Age and all the metaphysical things, give me some napkins back there, Scan. The metaphysical things, you will get caught in the particular exercise of these and all, instead of facing your own soul, is what this particular science of what we're talking about here. This is the concept of facing your own soul. And so we talk about the same quantum physics of making of a new self also too. Yeah, just put that right there. Well, this is cool, hell. Oh, it's cool. Doesn't matter. Yeah. My faces don't matter. Hell, I use a hard shit back here too, so it don't matter. You see, so now let's keep on going. About a month ago, this is something that you need to notice. Start watching the birds. Very key. A lot of people are seeing crows. People are seeing crows. That's very key, because the crow is a symbol, and hawks and pigeons. Start watching them. About a month ago, I got a tree outside of my house, but the tree is a dead tree. And yet, these birds will come on this tree every day. And it's interesting, the pattern. Now, they will come on the tree every day when it's cold. I didn't see them none during the summer. But as soon as this ending of the OJ trial and somewhere in the Christmas month, they started coming. They will come every day at a certain time period. They'll come somewhere around 10 or 11 when I get up. That's when they'll come. And they'll sit there about 2 or 3 and then they'll leave. And this is the most strange thing. The last moment it rained, Friday and Thursday, they were out there in the rain sitting on the trees. Sitting on the trees. You see. And there's all different types sitting in the street. Some pigeons, some sparrows, and all different types of birds. And in the day, the tree was full, and I've even counted close to 30-something in the tree. And then they had 2 birds, a black bird and a white bird, sitting on the telephone wire, right down from the tree. The energy is when you start accelerating, and which we are all doing for the simple fact, like I always say, if you weren't going through this, you wouldn't even be sitting here right now. You wouldn't be able to comprehend this. You wouldn't even be able to have the thirst for consciousness. So everybody that is even remotely interested, you are already advanced. You don't need to get advanced because you're already there. The advancement of your soul in actuality, the Egyptians say, it's a combination of part human and part falcon. And it's talking about the energy. So therefore, the birds are actually coming, and if you can see the birds, those birds are there for you to see. And if you notice them, they're there for you to see, and they're coming closer and closer based on your energy. They're gravitating towards you. You see. So these birds are in the house because they know that I'm conscious and my sister's conscious, so therefore they gravitate toward us. And they come and sit there. And it's interesting. I was going to New York last week, almost 4 or 5 days. And when I got back on Tuesday, it was a bright and sunny day. And it was around 2 o'clock. And they leave around 3 or 4. And there was not a bird on the tree at all, and it was a bright and sunny day. And I couldn't understand this. If I knew that they wasn't gravitating towards my energy, those birds should supposed to be. So if the birds didn't have nothing to do with the energy of my energy, then that means when I came back on a sunny day, if they were just chilling in the tree, they're supposed to be there. Because the next day, it was full of birds, and it was raining outside. You understand the energy? So that means, it's dealing with this particular, in the Book of the Dead, there's a whole section. In the Book of the Dead, the Book of Coming Forth by Day is nothing but a concept of the different levels of where your soul goes before you raise up to God. You understand? You are God. You born God before you become the true manifestation of God. You born an adult, or you born a human, but you become the manifested of human when you become an adult. Mainly at age 30. You see what I'm saying? Is when the adulthood really sets in. With us, we mostly fools by that time. It's all backwards and shit. By the time you get 30, it's all over for your ass. But the key is, as you go to a certain level, right at the particular part of the Book of Coming Forth by Day, and it's after the Great Judgment, they talk about the point of your soul turning into a heron, a dove, a falcon, a hawk, and a phoenix. And it's all dealing with the phoenix rising, which is the phoenix energy rising within you. Also, it's the kundalini energy. You see. So these birds are very key that you understand at this particular time, because when you say, give me a sign, a lot of times they're not going to give you this miraculous sign that The energy is not going to give you, or the spirit realm is not going to give you the sign that it's going to be something that you see in a movie a lot of time. It ain't going to be the Fatima shit like it is. It's going to be stuff right out of nature, you see. And it's right before you in the whole time. So I said, when I looked at it, I said, the tarot cards, I said, let me get on the tarot cards. And every time I do it, I say, is this a sign? They're saying, that's your sign. It's got something to do with these birds. It's got something to do with the birds. And sure enough, one of my boys came over, and he said, yeah, man, I'm seeing these crows. Yeah. Another brother had a dream, that's right, about the crows. You see what I'm saying? That's very key. And then, you know, you got the two movies, The Crow came out. Crow 1 and Crow 2, but the Crow 1 is very highly metaphysical. Very key. The Crow in the Crow is the ancient African, that's the most Atlantean symbol. The dove is the later on Christian symbol. It was the falcon in Egypt. You see the falcon or the hawk. It's the Native American eagle over here. Very key that you understand is this particular time. And also, that's the energy, and you will see these particular signs and the particular energy. Now, I'm looking at these particular birds and all, and they're just sitting up there in a dead-ass tree. But yet, the same tree, there was no birds in that tree at all, none last summer. But yet, they're going to wait till the winter when it get cold, and they're going to come, and even in the rain, they're sitting in there. Now, I called my girl, and I said, look at it. These fucking birds is out in the damn tree, and it's pouring down rain. Now, that's unbelievable. You see, very key. You go out there, you get your ass sick out there in some doggone rain. These birds up there in the rain. It's very key that's actually going on. Which, this particular book here, this particular book is dealing with, there's a section in this book called A Secret Tradition in Arthurian Legend by Gareth Knight. And in, and that's funny because the book ain't been too long, came out just last year. You know, I wanted to read something here. It says here that the seat of consciousness in the Atlantean man, was at the lower point of the brain. So you still talking about this particular consciousness of the medulla oblongata, this particular, you see, the lower point of the brain. At this particular time, at particular time of Atlantean. That's basically where it is with us now, and it's dormant. It's called the mouth of God. Now listen to this. It says, more towards what might almost call the spinal consciousness. So that's right there at the spine. The spinal consciousness. Thus, tends the more of the species of the group. It says it tends more to the species of the group, or group consciousness, rather than the inner individual expression. Now, you see, and you don't have that particular unity. So that's the way his whole system is made up. And even when they're dealing with even when they're dealing with stuff, even when they say so-called got themselves the spiritual new age, there's a lot of shit based on individuality. And that's the key of what we talk about here, other than the group consciousness, and that's the stuff that we're talking about breaking back to at this particular time. This particular time. Now, I'm going to point out a few books that you might want to get in the future. This person's name is K-A-I, might want to write this down. K-A-I-T-L-I-N. And John Matthews. The name of the book, what's that? Caitlin and John Matthews, a book called The Western Way. Now, there was a part 1 and a part 2 of these particular books. This is part 2 called The Hermetic Tradition, and I think this one came out in like 92 or 93. Since then, well, it came out in the 80s, but this was the last reprint of the separate volumes. Now they combine both books together and all. But the most interesting stuff is in part 2 of the actual book, which is key now because part 1 is good, but it combines both books together. So this is part 2. And anyway, I think it's for the same price the one book was for now. So that's a book that is called The Western Way. And it's called A Practical Guide to the Western Mystery Tradition, which in actuality they bear witness that the Western mysteries come from the Eastern mystery, but they also bear witness in this book that the most highest advanced mysteries of all mysteries, and even in Egypt, was the mysteries of Aset, or the mysteries of Isis, which was even higher than the mysteries of Osiris, which in actuality, what it's talking about here is, but I think even when the white boy separates it from higher and lower, he's also just talking about the feminine mystery period, which in the Kabbalah they talk about the last particular part of the Kabbalah which a person must obtain, which we'll get into later on, is talking about the mystery of Shekinah. Or they would also call the judgment of Mayat, the balances of the feminine energy. Also, it goes into this particular book, in the particular chapter in this book called Alchemy. It says something. It says alchemy. The operator in alchemy becomes the stone. Understand that. Anytime you hear the word stone, they're talking about melanin. Melanin, the stone, the rock, all that, and we're going to get into that also when we go into some other stuff, is the stone. But the stone is how we become it, is the beginning of an obscure black light rich soil of the Nile Delta that gave us the name alchemy. Anytime they talk about the black light or rich soil of the Nile Delta, they are talking about melanin. They ain't talking about no fucking soil or whatever. You should never look at this thing as a piece of land mass. Anytime they talk about the Nile represents the Kundalini. There's a celestial Nile, there's an earthly Nile. But they're not talking about the physical Nile on the earth. The metaphysical thing is the Nile represents the Kundalini. In the Hebrew mythology, the Red Sea represents the Kundalini. So anytime they talk about the Nile, and they say this black stuff deposited by the Nile is right here. So this is the Nile, the Kundalini. The black stuff that is deposited by the Nile is this, which is melanin. You get it? That's the mystery of alchemy. That's the mystery of what they're talking about. To break these codes, anytime they give you landmass on any type shit in mythology, apply that shit to your body, then you got it. You can break the code. So it says. First it says that in alchemy, the true secret of alchemy is that the operator becomes the stone. But it says the stone is, however, becomes to the beginning of an obscure, black light rich soil of the Nile Delta. Such we give us the name alchemy. Egyptian chemi, and he gives this word here, K-E-M-E, chemi, equals black earth. Anytime you hear the word black earth in Egypt, it ain't talking about, although you do have a black earth, it's talking about melanin, the black dot. The black earth is what it's talking about. It says, mean the black earth. The Greek, who understood the symbology of color, knew that the inner, you get this word tincture of black was originally gold, which is very key here. What they mean here is this, that what you see is damn near like your blood. Your blood is black. They say blue, that motherfucker black. Or dark black when it's in your body. Told you go get the movie Warlock #2 and he bleeds black blood. In the Necronomicon, all the gods in the Necronomicon, they secrete a blood called the black. That's what's in their body, operating their body, some shit called the black. So when you see the Warlock, which is Horus Lock, Horlock, you get the word Warlock, which means magician or magus, which you are the magician, the one that's a wise one, Wicca. You get the word witch, come from the word bitch, which comes from the word bitch, and bitch means the dog star, priestess of the dog star. Isis is the Sirius, which is the dog star. Isis is, Aset is the stone seat, which is the stone seat is Sirius, which is the dog star. You get the word bitches of the dog star, witch, and you get the word Wicca, which means wise one. You get the word Horlock, Horus, Heru, also the Christ energy of the dog star Horus Lock, Horlock, that you see the actual Jews wearing now, the Lubavitches or whatever. You see, you get the word Warlock, and that's where he bleeds the black blood in Warlock 2. Now, he bleeds the black blood in Warlock 2. When the blood is in your body, it's black. It becomes red after it hits the air, which is this dimension, the physical. And that's the way you see it in the physical. But actually it's melanin. That's the blood of Christ. Now his blood is a whole different thing. It's only red physical blood, which has nothing to do. But once his blood, even they can give you a blood transfusion. Once your blood hit that blood, we're talking about the white man's blood, it gets the melanated blood. You see what I'm saying? Although his blood may appear black in the body, it's got some of the same signs, but your blood is the melanated blood. The same is the melanated blood is black in the body. All gold is. This is the reason why gold is so expensive. All gold is melanin taken outside of the body. When it hit the goddamn air, it turns to gold. That's the fucking mystery of the damn alchemy. They're trying to make gold. But you can't make gold from the materials of the earth. And you can't make the gold from the materials of the earth for one reason. It's got to go into Solomon's temple. Where's Solomon's temple? This is the black body. This is the temple of Osiris, the temple of Solomon. The process of the gold, or the alchemist's gold of the vessel, has to be in your body. And what happens is in your body is this. All the elements in the universe is in your body. Right? Everybody know that. Copper, lead, iron, salt, sulfur, so on and so forth. But your body, and mainly your brain, and mainly, it's not even the white man's body, it's mainly your brain, and mainly a region in your brain, the pineal gland and all, that can produce gold. And that's melanin. When it comes to a certain level, if you was to take the melanin out, it would turn into gold. Use alchemy to turn into gold. Go get the movie. That's what the movie shit was all about. The movie Hudson Hawk. Hawk, Heyru, the Christ, Bruce Willis, 1991, pivotal year. In the movie, what they was trying to do, they was trying to damn rule the world by trying to get a gold machine that was supposed to have been put together by Leonardo da Vinci. But you understand the symbology. They was trying to make fucking melanin. But melanin is gold outside of your body. That's the mystery to alchemy. But we just looking at it from the so when you hear this stuff about you'll put it together if you ever get into some alchemical stuff also too. Some alchemy books and all. Now, it says it's talking about Isis and her son Horus. She is the gift of the perfect black. The context of the text is originally Osiris himself, God of the perfect black. The self is the black earth, or the pupil of the eye of Osiris. Because you got the eye of Osiris, the eye of Ra, the eye of Heru, the eye of Soot. All that's the same stuff talking about melanin and all. And it's talking about the God of the perfect black. So we're talking about this particular universal gold that we're talking about at this particular time that's inside of your body. And so now, with this particular gold inside of your body, means in actuality, when this gold gets to the particular point that it starts manifesting, it was lying dormant, but now it's manifesting in you. The more and more and the less you will be able to receive gold on the outside of the body. That's why most motherfuckers catching hell. That's because you are rich inwardly. You can't receive it on the outside of the body. So it goes back to, like I was saying, about even with black people fucking up. You understand what I'm saying? That's a part of the divine manifestation and all. Because you fucking up outwardly, which means you are manifesting inwardly. You got to take everything and turn it around on what they're actually talking about here, dealing with this particular part. Now, let's deal with something. Also, if you go back to Star Wars, the ship that what's the name, Han Solo was driving was called what? The Millennium Falcon. He said Falcon, it was the Millennium Falcon. Which Falcon is the Christ vessel of Heru. You see what I'm saying? Also talking about that energy, melanin, Star Wars, melanin. It's all breaking down that particular energy of the same thing what we was talking about. Melanin wars, melanin wars. Very key that you understand that at this particular time. Now, Let's see here what we're going to deal with here.